Mike, can you help explain to us how your brain is like a hand?
Yeah, I can. I'd love to do that, Dave. Okay, if you want to do this with me, and then the people watching can do the
Can
same thing.
copy?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Hand up like this.
Mm-hmm.
And the best way to describe it is the wrist is like our neck going down into our body,
Mm-hmm.
right? The middle part of the hand is the emotional part of the hand, right? The lower brain, the downstairs brain, we call that. The top part, which when it's all finished is closed over like that, that's the upstairs brain, or sometimes called the smart brain, right? But this is how it's put together. The neck, all the nervous system coming up here from the body through the limbic system, the emotional part of the brain, and in the middle of the limbic system, right? Now imagine you had another thumb on the other side. We have the amygdala, top of the thumb, which is our fight, flight, and freeze.
Mm-hmm.
So when we get afraid, when we get anxious, when we get angry, that type of thing, those strong emotions, that comes up through the amygdala, and that will flood the brain with cortisol and other chemicals as well. The top part of the brain fits over the top. So the downside of the thumb is the hippocampus, which is the memory. You have one on the left, one on the right, and what that indicates is on the left side you've got factual memory, basically. On the right side you've got emotional memory. And then the cortex sits over the top. And that cortex is often called the smart brain, or the executive thinking part of the brain, thinking cap, right? And that picks up all the information from the body, from the emotions, and then we're able to make a good decision.
You mentioned flipping the lid at some stage. What's going on there?
Well, I mentioned about being angry. If we get angry, the amygdala floods the brain with cortisol, the body and the brain with cortisol. So what happens is it's a disconnect between what's going on inside and the thinking cap on top, and it disconnects, right? Some people call that flipping their lid, okay? In fact, in the model where I first read about this was Dan Siegel, and he describes that as flipping the lid. But it's not just about anger. When we get fearful, when we get anxious, to the point where we're not functioning like we normally would, and the firing pattern in the brain slows down so it doesn't pick up the messages from down here. So what we act from, what we behave from, comes from an emotional reaction rather than a thinking response. So that's why I use the hand model, and that's how it can be used in practice.